We are going to start with our morning meeting, and we are going to do our greeting, our share, our activity, our message, and our calendar. Hold on one second. Okay. So let's start with our greeting this morning. I'm going to keep you muted just so we don't hear a lot of noise. And then when friends share, I'll make sure to unmute you so you can hear. So we are going to do our greeting, our share, our activity, our message, and our calendar today. And we are going to start with our greeting. And our greeting this morning is going to be a greeting in Spanish. So we're going to say buenos dias. And instead of waving, let's use our pinky finger to wave, okay? So we are going to greet each friend one at a time, and we're going to say buenos dias and use our finger to greet them, okay? Okay, so I'm going to unmute everybody, and let's get started with our greeting.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Oh.
Okay, let's start by greeting everybody. Buenos dias, Stephen.
Buenos dias, Miss Elton.
And let's greet Elliot. Buenos dias, Elliot.
Buenos dias, Elliot.
Buenos dias to you.
Dias, Elliot.
Let's greet Hugh. Buenos dias, Hugh.
Buenos dias.
And let's greet Sage. Ready? Buenos dias, Sage.
Buenos dias.
And let's greet Frank. Ready? Buenos dias, Frank.
Buenos dias, Frank.
Buenos dias. Let's greet Catherine. Buenos dias, Catherine.
Buenos dias, Catherine.
And let's greet Jose. Buenos dias, Jose. And let's greet Eileen. Buenos dias, Eileen. Okay, we are going to leave our friends with our morning meeting. So we are done with our greeting. 1, 2, 3, check. And now it is time for us to do our share. Nope, we're done with our greeting. 1, 2, 3, check. Now it's time for our share. Eileen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay. We are going to do our share today, and when we do our share, we're going to use our sharing wheel. And today we are going to share what we did over the weekend. So we didn't do any schoolwork or online learning on Saturday or Sunday since it was the weekend. You might have done some work at home, but you didn't have to. But you also might have done something fun. So I want you to think about something you did over the weekend, and then we're going to spin our wheel, and if your name is landed on, you can share. I'm going to start by sharing. So I have a friend who lives close to us, but I can't see her right now since we have to stay with our families, but I really wanted to say hi. So I got in my car and I drove to where she lives, and I waved at her, and we talked as I sat in the car and she stood on the street so I could see my friend. Kind of a weird way to see your friends these days, but that's kind of what we have to do to make sure everyone is still safe. So let's see who else would like to share what they did over the weekend. I'm going to spin our wheel, and if you get your name landed on, you can share. Let's see, who is it going to be? Paola's not here today. Shira's not here today. Who is it going to be? Lena. Hyundai is here right now. Hyundai, can you hear me? I don't know if Hyundai's sound is working. Can you hear me, Hyundai? I'm going to spin the wheel, and I'm going to see if I can help Hyundai's with his sound while it's not working. Michael's not here. We have a lot of friends who aren't here today. Takaya's not here. Steven, what did you do over the weekend?
Over the weekend, I'm going to be playing with my cars.
You played with your cars? That sounds like fun. What did you do with them?
Make like a line of cars.
Ooh, cool. Do you have a lot of cars?
Yes.
Fun. Okay, thanks for sharing, Stephen. Let's have another friend share. We'll spin it a couple more times and we'll have one more friend share what they did over the weekend. Eileen, where did she go? Eileen, what did you do over the weekend?
I played and I watched some movies, and my cousin came and she played with my hair, and then we played with Miliana. We did a lot of things fun.
Cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. What movies did you watch?
Cat the Hat.
Cat in the Hat. What a exciting movie. Thank you for sharing, Eileen. Okay, we are going to move on and say we are done with our share. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Check. And now it's time for our activity. Today's activity is going to be a little different. When we are at school and we do foundations, on day 5 of foundation, so usually on Fridays, we do something called story time. Nod your head if you remember story times. We've read stories about the codfish, we've read stories about the pink dress, and we have a new story to read today. So we are gonna look at it on the computer. And just like we do at school, we're going to read it to ourselves, and then we're going to listen as I read it, and then we're gonna read it together, and then we're gonna think of things we can see inside the story, okay? So I'm gonna click to the screen so you can take a look and read it. You're still muted, so we can't hear you as you're reading, and then I'm gonna read it to you, and then we'll read it together. So the story this week is called The Skunk. And in the story this week, you're gonna see a lot of words with blends. You might see blends at the beginning of the word or an end of the word, but you guys can use those blends to help you read it. So let me get it nice and big so you can see it. This is the story called The Skunk. So I want you to take a second and I want you to try to read it by yourself. It's a pretty long poem. Just take a second, see if you can read it. Okay, take one more second, finish reading the poem. Okay, now I'm going to read the story to you and then we'll read it together line by line. So listen as I read The Skunk. The kids were camping by the small pond. They each had to do a job that was on a long list. Some of the jobs were fun. 2 kids had to put up the flag, which was the best task of all. Then the kids went for a swim and sat on the grass in the sun. Next, the kids went on the big swings that were down at the end of the camp. At last, the day was over. They went into the tent and slept. The kids sat up one by one. It stinks, said the kids. We smell a skunk. The kids ran out of the tent in a rush. What did they see? A skunk was on a stump. Help! The kids were fast. They ran back into the tent and hid. The skunk did not go in, so they rested at last. That is the story called The Skunk. We're going to read it together. As I read it, I want you to read it with me from your house, okay? I'm going to keep us muted so you can hear me as I read it. And then we're going to talk about the poem and we're going to think about who's the characters, where the story takes place, and if we can find words with blends. So let's read it. Follow my mouse on your computer and read it with me. Ready? The kids were camping by the small pond. They each had a job to do that was on a long list. Some of the jobs were fun. 2 kids had to put up the flag, which was the best task of all. Then the kids went for a swim and sat on the grass in the sun. Next, the kids went on the big swings that were down at the end of the camp. At last, the day was over. They went into the tent and slept. The kids sat up one by one. "It stinks," said the kids. "We smell a skunk." The kids ran out of the tent in a rush. What did they see? A skunk was on a stump. "Help!" The kids were fast. They ran back into the tent and hid. The skunk did not go in, so they rested at last. Okay. I want you to think about what's happening in the story. Who are the characters in the story? Raise your hand if you want to tell me who is a character in the story. Frank, who are the characters in the story?
The kids.
The kids. Do we know their names, Frank?
No.
Nope, we just know that the story is about some kids. Thank you, Frank. Where does the story take place? Hugh, where does the story take place?
The story takes place on a camp.
At a camp, okay. And what do they see where they're sitting by the camp? What are they close to?
Pond.
They're close to a pond. They have some grass. We can hear that there are swings in the camp. And where are they? What are they sleeping in at the camp?
A tent.
A tent. So that is the setting. They are at a camp. Now, what happens at the beginning of the story, at the beginning of the poem? What happens in the beginning of the poem? Elliot.
They were camping.
They were camping and they had some jobs to do, right?
Yes.
And then what happened in the middle? What happened after they did their jobs? Eileen, are you raising your hand?
No.
Oh, sorry, Eileen. What happened after they did their jobs? Hugh?
They went swimming and they went on the big swing.
And then what happened last? What happened at the end of the story? I've heard from Elliot, I've heard from Hugh. Who is that friend raising their hand? Sage, what happened at the end of the story?
The kids said it stinks.
What stinks, Sage?
The stump.
The skunk. There was a skunk when they went to sleep at night. Now, we talked about the beginning, the middle, and the end. We've talked about the characters and the setting. I want you to see if you can find a word that has a blend in it. Remember, a blend are two sounds that go together or two letters that go together to make a sound. Does anybody see a word that has a blend in it, maybe at the beginning of the word or the end of the word? Raise your hand if you see a word with a blend. Hugh, what word do you see that has a blend?
Camping, camp.
Camp. What blend is in the word camp?
MP and also in the word camping, which is the same thing.
Yep, we see the MP in the word camp or in the word camping. What other blend do you see? Stephen, are you raising your hand?
No.
Okay. Frank, are you raising your hand?
No.
What other blends do you see? You guys have been practicing your blends in your packet, so I know you know blends. Let's have one more friend share. Elliot, is that a hand raised?
Yes.
What blend do you see, Elliot?
Skunk.
Skunk. In the word skunk, there's two blends. What blend do you see?
And NK.
Yep, SK at the beginning and NK at the end is skunk. Thank you guys for sharing. We'll take a look at this story again next week. Now, we are done with our activity. 1, 2, 3. Check. Yes, Hyundai?
I wasn't on the meeting on share and the beginning of the meeting.
I know. That's okay. You're here now, right? Okay. So now that we are done with our activity, let's take a look at our message. Remember, you're going to read the message with me, and we're going to read the words that are in yellow. Here we go. April 6th, 2020. Good morning, friends. Today is Monday. Today we are learning at home. Don't forget to watch the videos on the website. Love, Miss Harrington. Now we are done with our message. Let's say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Check. And now it is time for our calendar. So on Friday, we added the number 3 to the calendar for April 3rd. What number do we need to add to the calendar for Saturday? Steven? What's going to come after the 3rd? After 3 comes.
Monday.
What?
Monday.
Today is Monday. I want you to tell me what number we need to add to the calendar for Saturday. So on Friday, we added the number 3. What number do we need to add for Saturday? What comes after 3?
4.
4. And then on Sunday, what number do we need to add to the calendar? Hugh?
5.
5. And then what number do we need to add to the calendar for today, Katerine?
6.
6. So we can see Saturday was the 4th, Sunday was the 5th, and today is Monday the 6th. Let's read our date together. Ready? Today is Monday, April 6th, 2020. Now let's look at our days in school. On Friday, we were in school for 128 days. If we add a stick for today, how many days have we been in school? Eileen? What's going to come after 128, Eileen?
129.
Nice job. So we've been in school 129 days. Take a look at our bundles. What's going to happen tomorrow? If we add a stick for our day in school tomorrow, what will happen? Hyundai, what's going to happen tomorrow?
It's going to be 130.
You're going to have to make a new bundle because after 9 comes 10, and then we'll have another group of 10, so we'll have 3 10, so it'll be 130 days. Thank you, Hyundai. We'll do that tomorrow when we add our day in school. Now that we've done our days in school, let's count by 10s. You ready to count with me? Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and let's count by ones. 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129. That's a lot of days of first grade. Now that we're done counting our days in school, we are done with our calendar. 1, 2, 3, check. But I have something I want to show you. I want to show you the first grade website again because today you have some cool read aloud videos. So when you go to the first grade website where it says week 3 and it says Monday, lunes, that's today, that's where the arrow is pointing. There are videos for you to watch. There's a mindfulness video to watch, a math video to watch, a phonics video to watch to practice blends, and you have read aloud. You have 4 videos to watch, and when you're done watching it, make sure you do the bottom so I know you watched it. If you don't watch the videos, make sure you do your work packets and you send me a picture of your work packets, okay? Today, your read aloud is really cool. So if you click where it says read aloud, you get to look at 2 cool books about spiders. The first thing you get to do is you get to watch the story. So it says watch the story, and you get to watch somebody read Diary of a Spider. After you watch that story, you get to read the book called A Spiderling Grows Up. So every day from now on, there's going to be 2 books. One book's going to be read to you, and then you're going to read one book. That's all you have to do. But if you want to do more, over here, there's some puzzles, there's some quizzes, and there's some other cool things you can do about the books you've been reading. So every day from now on, you're gonna have fun, cool books to read about, okay? Also, make sure you're getting on Lexia. There's some friends who have grown so much on Lexia, but there's still some friends who haven't been using it very much. So make sure that you have your computer and you're trying to do some Lexia during the day, okay? Hugh, did you have a question for me?
Yes.
What's your question?
I don't see the eagles on the website.
I'll show you right now. Hold on one second. So if you go to the website, this is week 3 right now, but last week was week 2. So if you go to week 2, you click week 2, and then at the bottom, there's a picture of the bald eagle, and it says bald eagle cam. That's where you can watch it, okay? Those
Okay.
were from last week, but this week we're watching 3 videos, okay?
Okay.
Where it says Monday, those are the videos for today. Does anybody else have a question? I saw one other hand. Sage, is that you asking a question?
Yes, I have mochis.
You have what?
Mochis.
Okay, any other questions? I don't see anyone's hands. Make sure you're doing your work at home, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming to morning meeting. Bye, guys. Let's say goodbye to our friends. Ready? Bye, Steven. Bye.
10.
Bye, Hyundai.
Bye. Bye, Katarina. Bye, Aileen.
Elliot,
Bye, Brian.
Elliot, what's your question?
I'm going to charge the iPad. I'm not going to use Alexa right now. I'm going to charge my iPad.
Okay, that's a good choice. Okay, bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming to morning meeting. Hyundai, do you have a question?
On my tablet, Lexia doesn't work.
I understand. Lexia only works on computers or on iPads. So I know if you aren't using it that it doesn't work on tablets. It's okay. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm going to use my tablet too.